Okay, Steve, like I told you in the email, I'm just going to quickly show you what I would do to a photo like this, just to kind of bring out the colours and maybe get rid of a bit of the yellow colour cast. It's just the way I do things. It doesn't have to be done with all these kind of photos. But as you said also, you handheld this, so there's a bit of movement in some of the lights and everything because it's handheld at night, probably on a fairly slow shutter speed. If you were to take a shot, obviously, at night using a tripod on aperture priority at, say, f8, then obviously you would get a longer exposure, but you'd also get a much sharper image. But I'll just quickly show you what I'm going to do with this. I'm going to quickly straighten it because some of these lines are a little bit out, and also I'll get rid of a bit of this yellow colour cast and then bring out the colours of all these lights here. So the first thing I would do is use the and by the way, I'm using Photoshop CS5, but this would work in any version of Photoshop. I think you got Photoshop 7 or maybe one a bit later, I don't know, but this would work in most versions of Photoshop. So first of all, if you select the you go up here to the rectangular marquee tool and click that, and then you can either click and drag it using the left mouse key and drag it all the way around so you've selected the entire photo, or you can just press Control A. That's for all. That will select all of the image. And then if you go to let's have a look, I can't remember what it is now, View, and then Show, and then Grid, or it's Control and that little speech mark there. So click that. That will bring up a grid to give you some reference to making the lines straighter here. You can see that they're slightly out, slightly wonky. So now that you've done that, you've got the running ounce and the selection around the outside, you've got the grid up. Then if you press Control T, that will then select the whole image, and you can see here we've got various bits and pieces here. Once you finish with this, you click the tick, but if you take your cursor and bring it outside, you'll see it turns into a curved shape like that. All you do is left click and then drag to the left, just drag it round anti-clockwise, whichever way you need to go, until your lines match those on the grid here, like that. Let's just do it a little tiny bit more, but I think that's about right there. So once you've done that and the lines are straight, just click the tick and you're done. Now to get rid of the running ants, just click again anywhere on the outside, and to get rid of the grid, again just go to View, Show, Grid, and click it off, and there you've done that. Now what you will have, you can see down here, you've got a bit of black, because whatever the background colour is selected here, that will fill in the gaps when you twist the image to that. So all you need to do is just select the crop tool from up here and just crop away a part of the outside. In fact, I'm going to crop it a little bit more. I'm going to take a bit of take this pavement out from down here, so you've got a bit of the pavement in. So I'm just going to drag the crop tool up and drag it along a bit over here, so that this light is in the corner here with equal distance between the corners. Maybe bring this in. That bright light there is a bit distracting, so I'm just going to crop that in a bit more there and leave it at about like that. You can either double click inside the image or press the tick again up here, and that will then crop it to that. So we've now got perfect edges and we've got a straight photo. So already we've done okay there, just to straighten the image. Next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to select the marquee tool again, but what I'm going to do now is get rid of the colour cast. You can see there's a bit of reddish kind of glow. Now to bring these proper colours out, you're better off getting rid of the colour cast first, that orangey yellowy glow, and then work on those colours. If you worked on those colours now, you would enhance the orange glow as well. So what we do for this is we go to Image, and then we go to Adjustments and Colour Balance, or Control B. That brings up this dialog box here, and you've got three levels. You've got shadows, midtones and highlights. I normally work on the midtones and the highlights and leave the shadows alone. So you've got three sliders here: red, green and blue, or cyan, magenta and yellow. Now I do this pretty much for every shot where I've got a bit of a colour cast. I will click the midtones, take the first slider, just bring it over to the cyan a bit, so we're getting rid of a bit of the red out of the midtones, and here I would take this slider up to the blue, so we're getting rid of a bit of the yellow. If we do preview before and after, you can see we've already got rid of a bit of it. Then I would go to highlights and do the same again. Take the red over to the cyan a little bit, take the blue, yellow blue over to the blue a bit more, and you can see there we've got rid of a bit more of that colour cast. So now the lights are starting to appear the actual colours they are. Okay, so you only need to do a minimal bit there, but you can do it as much as you want until, you know, if you took it right over, it obviously overdoes it on the cyan. Overdo it here and it goes too kind of bluey purpley, so just be a bit sparing when you do that. So look at the midtones, maybe do that a bit more. So once you've done that, click OK, and you've now got rid of a lot of that cast, but it's looking fairly dull. I think you may have on yours, if you go to image adjustments, I think you should have shadow highlights. If you do that, you'll probably get, let's close that, you'll probably get this box up. So let's bring it right over on the shadows, and then you can just bring it over and just bring out those shadows a little bit like that, if you've got that tool. If not, don't worry too much for now. But I'm just going to bring it up so a little bit more details come out in the shadows. So now we've straightened the photo, we've got rid of a bit of the colour cast, we've increased the shaded detail a little bit more. What I'm going to do now is select the sponge tool. I'm going to set it on saturate. If you had it on desaturate, you're actually going to turn the photo, take the colours out. I'm going to put the flow to about 6%, and the brush size just big enough to go over the whole photo. The brush size will vary on the size of your photo, so just make it big enough so you're not there for hours. So I'm going to select that brush size, and then literally left click and just paint over, and you should see the colours starting to pop out a little bit more. The colours here at the front. Just do it again sparingly, don't do it all. Let's bring out some of these colours in the leaves up here, and maybe this green down there, and the lights at the front. So you can see there that we've pulled those colours out a bit more now. Now that to me is just a slightly edited photo. Obviously, like I said, if it was on a tripod, it'd be a bit sharper. If you wanted to sharpen it, you could go over here and select this tool, which has blur, sharpen, and smudge. If we select sharpen, and then again the same sort of brush size, and I'm going to put it on strength of 7, you can actually just brush it over a couple of times just to sharpen up those foreground lights, and you can see there that's kind of the finished product that you should be looking at getting. And just obviously watch this video a few times, maybe watch it while you're doing it yourself on Photoshop, but I'll just show you the difference. If I now go to File and Revert, or if I was to press F12, that goes back to the old photo. So that's how it was, very slightly wonky, bit too much foreground, colours are a bit muted because of the orange glow. But if then I go back to the version we've just done, we've chopped away a lot of that foreground and a bit on the side there to kind of hone our eyes in on the lights, straightened it a bit and popped out the colours and got rid of a bit of that cast. So hopefully I think you can see that slightly improved the photo, and these are just the basic kind of things that you can do to a lot of your shots just to enhance them a little bit. And it's like I've always said, a few small enhancements here and there, or a lot of them, obviously can make quite a bit of difference to a photo. So like I said, just watch the video a few times, have the photo open in Photoshop while you're watching it, if you can do that. Pause it, do a bit, pause it, do a bit, and then see if you can get to a kind of similar result, and then try it on your other photos. But I hope that helps. Obviously give me a shout if you have any problems.